Hi, my name is Tony Dawodu, and I buy a lot of properties. And you can see here, these are some of the properties I bought. But this video is not about me buying properties. It's about how you, as a homeowner, can stop the foreclosure on your house. My premise is this: no one should ever have to give up their home. No one, even if you fall into foreclosure, should have to give up their house when there are a lot of alternatives for you to either negotiate with your lender, do a modification, do as a last result some form of bankruptcy, sell the property, and where you could actually get money for the property. And I'm not talking about short sale, okay? And I'll address short sale in later, because in a short sale, the only people that get any benefit out of it is the agent. So how do foreclosures happen, right? And most people don't really understand the foreclosure process. And so I'm thinking that before you buy a house, somebody ought to tell you that some things might happen. Like they say, as happens. I mean, to put it bluntly, shit happens, right? I said it, okay? And so if it happens to you, not because it's your fault, because the economy goes under, things unravel, you lose your job, you have unexpected expenses, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you are behind, okay? And if you're behind one payment, the chances are you may not be able to catch up unless you get some, influx of money. So if you don't get influx of money and you can't catch up, then you are in deep, deep trouble. So what do? Okay, the first thing you do is this: don't ever run away from your lender. And the reason people don't take their lender's phone call is because, number one, they're ashamed. Number two, they don't know what to tell the lender. So they dodge these phone calls, okay? Don't ever dodge their phone calls. Pick up the phone and say, yeah, my name is Toyin. What are you calling about? My mortgage? Well, right now, I don't have the money, but I'm working on it, okay? That puts their mind at ease that, number one, you're still in the property, you haven't abandoned it, because one of the fears of the lender is that you abandon your property and their loan or their money is in jeopardy, because the only security they have for the money they lend you is the property. So if you abandon the property catches on fire, they might lose their investment. So that's one of the reasons they call you, to make sure you're still in there. If you notice, when they call, they always ask you, are you still living in the property? Do you intend to keep it? In the past, they don't even ask whether you intend to keep it. The reason they ask today whether you intend to keep it is because the law has put some kind of chain around most lenders, okay? There are laws that have been enacted in the last 5-6 years since the Great Recession that forces your lender to have to work with you. So if the lender has to work with you, why are people still losing their home? Okay, millions of people have lost their homes in the last 6 years. Okay, and if you're one of them, or you're about to be one of them, you need to listen carefully to this and do something about it. And what can you do? You could call me. You could go to my website, US Homeowners Advocacy Council, reach out to us, and I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you how to keep your lender at bay until you are ready or you are in a financial position to start making payments. That's really what it's all about. Okay, I have clients that I haven't paid on their property for 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, not that they don't want to pay, they have no ability to pay, but we're able to negotiate with the lender, keep the lender at bay so that they are able to avoid foreclosure. And in the 5 years, the property has gone back from being upside down to either breaking even, and some of them even have equity. And now that they have equity, they can sell the property and make some money and move on. Okay, but if you gave up your property 5 years ago and you were not able to buy another property, and you look back and you could have kept the property, you will wish that you had seen this presentation 5 years ago. So, like I said, first, don't run away from your lender. Pick up their phone, talk to them, okay? The reason people don't want to talk to lenders is because they feel ashamed, they're fearful, they're worried, they don't know what to tell the lender. And that's why you need a third-party person sometimes, okay? And, like a lawyer. But in most cases, lawyers will charge you money. They don't work for free, okay? I don't work for free either, but I will still guide you for nothing, okay? Because what's in it for me, you might ask? Well, really, there's nothing in it for me. I will have a relationship with you. In the future, when you decide to sell your house, since I'm a real estate broker, you might decide to use me, okay? If at some point you get to the end of the rope and there's no other alternative, okay, I might buy the property from you and be able to keep it and hold it until you're able to get money out of it, okay? Or just move on. When I said move on, it means you voluntarily move on. You're not forced out. You're able to wind down your affairs to where you find another property. And I might even be able to help you find another property because I've done that. Okay, I've had people that can afford their home. Even though they have bad credit, I was able to locate another property for them where they took over a payment. And that's another video series in itself. Okay, now, it's not unusual for you to hear from all kinds of people when you're in foreclosure, okay? And the foreclosure time clock really runs fast in certain areas, anywhere from 7 days to 30 days in some states. In California, it's about 120 days. It could stretch as far as 1 year if you're in a judicial foreclosure state, okay? But if you're in the 120 range, it runs fast, and if you don't take action, somebody will take your property, foreclose on it, and you'll be out. And that happens to some of my clients. When we got a chance to talk to them, they told us they're working with some agents, they're doing short sale, and they will call us. By the time they call me, they have a 3-day notice because the property had gone to foreclosure. The lender has it back, okay? Now, I don't have anything against agents. I'm an agent, I'm a broker, I'm also an investor. But when your agent tells you they're going to do a short sale for you, okay, they don't really have any stake in it. They don't have a skin in the game. And the only person that gets paid in a short sale is your agent. The lender even loses money. The lender loses money. The only people that get paid is the agent, the escrow company, title company, okay? And you sometimes get some money, but if you have a second, I can guarantee you're not going to get anything because the second will not allow you to get any money, even though the first wants to give you some money. And that's happened to some of my clients. Okay, so don't stick your head in the ground, hoping that things will work out. They never work out. Okay, you need to find somebody who could advocate on your behalf. That's one of the reasons I founded U.S. Homeowners Advocacy Council. Okay, what does U.S. Homeowners Advocacy Council do? We help counsel people that are in foreclosure, and we don't charge you anything. All our consultations are free. All the advice are free. We work with you until you're able to resolve your problem. If you're not able to resolve it, then we map out alternatives that benefit you. And in some cases, yeah, we do get paid from either helping you to sell the property, okay? But in the long run, our goal is to make sure that you don't sell the property to where you get nothing and everybody else gets paid. In my case, I want to make sure you get paid something or you keep your property. If that's your goal, to keep your property, I will do everything within my power to make sure you keep the property. In certain circumstances, people are not able to keep their property, which I understand, but we'll help them wind down their affairs so that they can keep it, okay? Now, if you look at, like I said in the past, all the programs that are available, you have this HAMP program, Home Affordability Mortgage Program, HAFR, loan modification, restructuring, all those kind of programs are available for you, and the lender by law has to work with you. Now, the mistake most people make is that the law says, for example, in California, that if you are in one of these programs and the lender is working with you, they're not supposed to foreclose, okay? The problem is that sometimes if you're in foreclosure, you don't know when the lender says, that's it, time out, we're no longer working with you. You think you're still in modification, you give your home to some agent who does not keep in touch with the lender, right? The next thing you know, your property is gone. They did a trustee sale. And in California, as in most states, when the sale happens, the auction sale is done, you're done. It's irreversible in 99.9% of the time, unless the lender made a major mistake, okay? And so before the gaggle comes down that says house sold, you want to make sure that you've done everything within your power to keep the house, sell the house, okay, to where you get some money, do equity participation, okay, which I call, equity share. Equity share used to be popular in those days, okay. In the 90s, you were able to share your equity with a lot investors, okay. So if you're not able to make your payment, they will come in, make up your back payments, and you will stay in the property. You make the payment on the house if you can afford to. If you can't, they help you make the payment. When the property appreciates, you refinance the property, pay off the investor, and then you give them part of the equity. So they make interest on their money, and then they share part of the equity. That's one way, to stay in the house. The other way to stay in your house is to be able to do a modification if you have the income to support a modification. If you can't do all that, you always have the bankruptcy option, which I call the nuclear option. Okay, the bankruptcy will stop everything cold. Will stop all the lenders, even up to 1 minute before the trustee sale happens. If you have to use the bankruptcy option, okay, the objective is to buy time to wind down your affairs and to go back and look at all the options that you were not able to use to begin with, right? Okay, because after your bankruptcy, you could still try to do a modification. You could try to sell the house while you're in bankruptcy, provided you get permission from the trustee. After chapter 7, you could do a chapter 13, which is a reorganization. Either way, because the reason I'm able to tell you all this is because it's happened to me. And not only has it happened to me, I've used it to help other clients, okay? In the 90s, when things were tough, I fell behind, and I almost lost my house. But for 2 years, I didn't have to make any payments because I fought the lender, I did, modification, I did reorganization, all kind of stuff, okay? Eventually, I was able to do a second because I had a lot of equity. I got a loan, pay off the back payments, and I kept my house, okay? Most people are not able to do that because, number one, they have misinformation. They don't look at all the alternatives. They listen to the wrong people. And I can understand because sometimes when you're in foreclosure, you get a lot of letters, you got advice from everybody. I will listen and try to make a choice as to who is actually talking in your best interest, because you don't know until you sit down with them, look them in the eye, and see what angle they're coming from. Okay, from my point of view, if you're not talking to them and you get the letters, you put it under your desk and you throw it away, you won't get a chance to evaluate who is best, who can help you. Okay, so having said that, I go back to my premise that no one should have to ever lose their home as long as people like me are available. U.S. Homeowners Advocacy Council, our goal is to help you save your home. Okay, and as long as we're around, I want you to go to our website, check it out, ushomeownersadvocacycouncil.com. Reach out to us, see what we can do for you, and let's talk about it. Okay, look at your alternatives and then understand that your home is your right to keep. You've invested money in it, you've invested emotions in it, and nobody should ever have to take it away unless you are ready. Okay, and so that's the information that I have for you today. If you have questions, you could comment below or send me information, or just send me an email, okay? Or best still, just call the phone number down there and call us, and if you have questions and you want us to help you. Thank you.